What's up, guys? It's All the Cars here, and today we're going to go for a nice little cruise in the GS, and I'm going to talk about something. So I'm 29 years old. Some of you guys might not know that. I've been into modifying cars and in the car world for about 13 years now. Wow, 13, big number. But I have learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, and so I just want to help the younger generation and new enthusiasts kind of learn about this and get better. I know this topic's kind of been beaten quite a bit on YouTube, but I would like to give my own take on it. So, one thing that I notice a lot of people doing is they're not choosing very good cars to modify. The platform you choose is pretty important here because I know everyone kind of wants to be unique. I'm the same way. Who am I to talk? I look at what the stuff I'm building. But for your first project, you're not going to want something that isn't a tried and true platform. That's kind of why I went out and bought an SN95 for my first drift car, because you got to stop and think, okay, what do I want out of this vehicle? It might not be my dream car, but I can learn with it. It'll be a good starter car. And you can kind of go from there. I see a lot of people doing weird stuff. Like, I see people modify Hyundais and Kias, and I'm like, why? What are you actually doing here? And yeah, so that's kind of one thing, is the platform for starters. Another thing is I see a lot of people do mods that just for the sake of modding their car, which is not really something you want to do. OEM Plus is kind of huge right now, and the older you get, the more you realize kind of what is and isn't tasteful. Every build I've done, apart from like drift cars, I've kind of tried to keep OEM Plus. It just looks way cleaner, and it makes it so that the car is like this thing. In my old GS, if you guys have seen it, it had the Aristo wing on it and the Aristo bumper. Okay, I'm going before this moped guy, and it just looks really nice. It's not going to ruin the car by any means because it's just a factory thing. I've always loved it when people hunt down like rare factory options and stuff that you can't get very easily. It just makes a car pop that much more to me than if you just throw like a ridiculous wide body or body kit on it, or if you're one of those people that just plasters decals all over the side. It never really looks right, and a lot of people are going to laugh at you. Another thing is just look at what I'm doing now. I'm just cruising. I'm loving it. It's nice. I mean, it's kind of traffic, but it's not. Nobody likes it when you're just being a delinquent, I guess is the right word there. Like takeovers, that stuff's not cool. Neither is like cutting up traffic on the highway in rush hour. That's stupid. There's a time and a place for driving fast and doing stuff, and in traffic just isn't it. Another thing to consider is when you're choosing a car, don't always jump on the first thing that shows up. I've paid the price heavily for that in the past. My old GS was not very clean at all, but I got a good deal on it, and it was kind of one of the only ones for sale that I could find, so I jumped on it, and now I have to do everything all over again in another cleaner car. And granted I'm going to do it way better this time, but you're going to want to start with a solid platform that isn't rusted out, and that can be tough to get. That's why I ended up with a Thunderbird, because my Mustang was actually rotted out, and it wasn't going to be a good track car once I put coilovers on it and set it up and stuff. So it's just something to think about. You're going to want a solid platform, a nice clean car, and just have something that is worth building, like I said. And I mean, there are cars that are worth building. Like the reason everyone wants to be unique, like I said, but tried and true platforms are tried and true platforms for a reason. There's so much aftermarket out there. You're going to save yourself so many headaches and so much less stress building a car that already has stuff out there for it than trying to come up with stuff. Because let's face it, if you're young and just getting into this, you're not going to have the kind of money to do whatever crazy swap you're thinking of. I mean, look at me. I didn't start really swapping stuff until last year and the year before, and I've been doing this for a while. So realistically, you have to take a step back and just think about what you want out of the car and what platform will be good. And then eventually, once you get the mechanical knowledge and stuff, you can buy your dream car. So that's kind of what I did and kind of where I'm at right now. So there's that. And then also, as I said, less is more. But at the same time, don't... Like, you bought the car to drive it. You didn't buy it for it to sit on jack stands. So realistically, do what you can with what you have, and don't be afraid. I mean, I know I said, like, I've seen some pretty terrible vehicles at meets and stuff, and just things that are just way too over the top, and people who mod just for the sake of modding versus doing things that are actually clean and making the car look nice. But like, you are gonna have cars with rust. Like, no project car is gonna be perfect. That's just the nature of the beast. It doesn't matter what you see online. No project car is gonna be perfect. You're gonna have rust. You're gonna have a bunch of stuff. If your car runs and drives, you're ahead of most people with project cars, and that's a pretty huge thing there. Like, the Thunderbird's a designated track car, and like, whoever built it went way over the top originally, and it's just not even a fun car to own at this point anymore, just simply due to the fact that it's always like got something going on with it all the time, and it's just not a very fun car to own at this point. Like, you can overbuild your vehicle, and it just becomes more of a hassle than a fun time, which it kind of takes away a lot in this hobby, and it sucks. Sometimes you should listen to the haters, because a lot of people just think that people are just trying to hate on them. And so this is true, I will admit. With social media, you get people that'll just crap all over you, and it sucks. But sometimes people have a point. I see so many things online where people are just doing blatantly dangerous mods to their vehicle, like attaching harnesses the wrong way, cheap steering wheels, cheap seats, and that's not something you want. Sometimes the haters are right. They're the older people. Like, you're always learning something in this hobby, and that's something that it definitely takes a while to learn. Is there are people out there, like, you come into this, you're ready, you do your research, you think you know everything, but there's always going to be people that know more than you, no matter what. And sometimes they will give you hard advice that you don't want to hear. I've had that happen a couple times with me, and I finally took a step back and listened to their advice, and it definitely paid off way more than whatever I was doing before. So it does pay to listen to the haters sometimes, and they do have some good things to say. Yeah, like, what I was dealing with was I'm kind of up at 8 vehicles right now, which I'm trying to thin the herd a little bit, but a couple are ones I'm trying to get rid of, and a couple are parts cars. So that's kind of where I'm at. But if you end up in my position where you have the money and the space, you can overwhelm yourself so fast by taking on too many project cars. I think 9 was a total I had at one point, and it was just way too much for me. I ended up getting rid of almost everything and just buying one decent car. And that's not to say, like, there's some people like Zach, somehow he has the drive and energy to just have as many vehicles as he does and just be able to work on them and fix them and drive them, but he doesn't do too many mods to them. He just likes to get them running and drive them. So just don't get caught in the loop of buying vehicles, doing nothing, and then getting rid of them. It sucks. It really does. I would know firsthand. Another thing is, it's okay for a vehicle to stay stock. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a nice, reliable daily driver. Reliability is very cool the older you get. And even like as a young kid, reliability is pretty cool. It's not, I've been there, it's not fun having a car break down when you're hours away from home and you're just kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. So reliability is something really great that you want to factor in. Like I said, you can't overbuild your car and it just becomes not fun at that point, because you don't want to take it out on the street because it's like too much power, or you're scared something's going to go wrong. And like I said, if you have a running and driving project car, you're still like 10 steps ahead of like most car guys. So like, it doesn't hurt to keep your vehicle reliable. And it's also not very smart to mod your only car. So I kind of learned that the hard way. Granted, most of my stuff is modded, but like the Yukon's stock underneath, apart from the lift and just tires. And when I manual swapped my old one, I still road tripped it everywhere because I didn't touch anything else. All I did was swap the transmission and used pretty much factory stuff. I didn't use parts I don't need to build a car to do what I need it to do. And yeah, like, not every car needs to be modified. If you have like around here, it's really bad. People mod V6 Chargers and Chrysler 300s and think they're doing something. You're not. Like, they do, and they drive like crap. They try and pass me on the shoulder and double yellows at like 100 miles an hour. Nobody thinks that's tough. Like, I can't think of a single person who like sees that and is like, wow, that guy's really cool. It just makes you look like a jerk, and it honestly paints the rest of us in a bad name, who are just trying to enjoy our vehicles, because as you guys can already know, or as anyone watching this probably already knows, this hobby is has a lot going against it in terms of other people that aren't into it, and just the government and all that. It paints all car enthusiasts in a bad light, and you really don't want to do that, especially if you're just starting the hobby. How much would it suck if you're just getting into it and then all of a sudden it's just gone like that? So you just got to kind of be mindful and respectful of other people. And I still do stupid stuff here and there, but I try and do it when there's not other people around, or at least in the right environment. I try to. So that's just something you learn, and with time you learn most of this stuff. It's just kind of stuff you learn as you age and whatnot. I've done my fair share of stupid stuff. I've been to car meets where there's a 2004 Camry that's rattle can 2 different colors and it's bone stock otherwise, and it's like, brother, the amount of money you spent on paint, you could have done something to make the car worthwhile, or at the very least done something else with a different car that is actually worth modifying. Not to say that Camrys can't be cool by any means, but that's not it. That's definitely not it. And a lot of people just don't realize that. I mean, this hobby does get very expensive very quickly. Like, you can rack up thousands and thousands of dollars in parts very fast. And that's kind of another thing is, don't take out loans if you don't have to. I learned that the hard way. I used to buy a lot of my parts on credit and stuff, and I kind of spent a lot of time paying it back, even on cars that I didn't even own anymore. Like, it's like, why would you do that to yourself? I regret doing it, but you live and you learn. Hopefully I can help someone else prevent themselves from doing that. Another thing, which this kind of goes with what I was just saying, is don't mob the bank car. You never know what your financial situation is going to be like down the road, or if you're even going to hold on to it. You could just be throwing money in the trash, which I guess a lot of stuff in this hobby kind of is. But like I said, I've spent thousands and thousands on cars that I don't even own anymore. But the cheat code to building vehicles that I've kind of learned is find a platform you like, stick with it, and then just carry stuff on from it in other similar vehicles. Like, for example, my last GS, not much of the stuff I'm doing to this is going to cost me a whole lot, like, just because I already have a lot of the stuff to do it, and I've acquired this stuff through many years. And even like going from the Mustang to the Thunderbird, it was the same chassis, so everything bolts up apart from aesthetic stuff. So realistically, I don't have a lot of money into that car either, because I had a whole Mustang I could pull parts from. So yeah, it's just kind of a matter of picking your battle. There's no perfect car. People will always tell you, like, this is the best car ever, and I mean, in my opinion, this is the best car ever, but obviously every vehicle has flaws. That's just kind of something that I've learned, and that you will learn as an adult. And it's one thing I learned as a mechanic as well. And speaking of that, if you love cars, do not become a mechanic. Unless you're working at a specialized performance shop, this sucks. Like, you have to buy your own tools, you don't get paid very well, unless some of my friends at dealerships are making pretty good money, but otherwise, like, you don't get paid very well. You're going to be not working on cool stuff like you think you are. It's literally just going to be boring garbage, like 99.9% of the time. You're not going to be doing cool engine swaps or like building race cars. You're going to be working on Equinoxes and Escapes and RAV4s and just stuff that is not interesting or fun to work on. Like, 75% of what we work on in my shop is probably Jeeps, and I hate it. Not that I hate my job really, but I just hate the vehicles I work on. They are not fun. They're not fun to drive. They break constantly. It's just, don't get into this trade if you love cars. I've seen my friends over the years, most of my friends are also mechanics. I've seen a lot of them get really burnt out on their own projects and I'm kind of getting to that point as well, which is why I haven't been uploading as much. It's like, why would I want to bust my butt all day working on stuff, get off work, and then go work on stuff on my own time? Granted, it's way more rewarding to do mods and like work on my own vehicles, I think, but at the same time, it just drains you doing it day in and day out. So try and find something else that you like for a job, or work at a performance shop or something else, because wrenching is a lot of fun in my free time and I do enjoy it, and I'm actually changing career paths next year. However, it is very, very draining working on your own stuff after working on other people's stuff all day. So that's kind of another thing. Like I said, try and choose a platform that has potential for your first project car, and then go from there and do your research on it first. Don't just buy something willy-nilly because it's there. Do your research and like figure out what to look for when you're buying one. And also, Don't drive like an idiot just in the wrong setting. That's kind of a nice truck. I don't even like that Gen F-150. But don't drive like an idiot in the wrong setting. Don't listen to the haters. And don't become a mechanic. Don't try and buy cars, mod them, and then sell them. You're never going to get your money back out of that. This hobby, any project car money you have, sure, you can sell some cars for more than you're going to get, or more than you bought them for once you mod them, but you're never going to see your money back out of the build, ever. It doesn't work like that. So, yeah. Those are just some words of advice I have to new and younger car enthusiasts, just some stuff I've learned in my 13 years of doing this. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I am going to try and get some stuff done pretty shortly here, and hopefully we can get back to some of my projects. I know I've been busy lately, like I've said, but I figure I should just make this video. I've been wanting to make one like this for a while now, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.